Hello, this video is to give you an overview of what we're doing this week, next week, and the week after. Homework 6 and 7 lead up to Writing Project 2, which will be due 2 weeks from this week. Writing Project 2 parts include, let's say, Homework 6, Homework 7, and Writing Project 2, which is to say these lead up to it. So what's Homework 6? For Homework 6, you do research and write a brief annotated bibliography using one trade or academic journal article and one organization white paper. So you only need two things. Why? Because they may not be that easy to get, but we'll see. Both these items must be published between 2013 and 2018. And the topic for your research is a piece of equipment or procedure that is currently in use in your field. Okay, so you're going to do the research on a piece of equipment or procedure that is currently in use. Homework 7 is going to be a short version of a feasibility study on this current piece of equipment or procedure in use in your field. And Writing Project 2 will be the long version of the feasibility study on this current piece of equipment or procedure in use in your field. Okay, so this week you are starting the research for the work that you're going to be doing in the next 2 weeks. Homework 6 research. Find a trade or academic article in the Henry Madden Library databases for your piece of equipment or procedure. And I have a sample article that I located. And then you find a white paper for your piece of equipment or procedure, and I have an example again that I located. This one I located online. So you must find your academic or trade article in the Henry Madden Library databases. Okay, but the white paper that you're going to find with a Google search, which is a good way to find such things. So number 1, search for a trade or journal article. You go to the Henry Madden Library OneSearch page, you type in your topic, you refine your research results. There's a menu panel on the left. You're going to tick boxes. Tick the box for full text, tick the box for peer-reviewed, tick the box for articles, and then you're going to see a little scale for years. You're going to scroll until you get to 2013. You want only to find articles that have been published between 2013 and 2018. And of course, it's probably a good idea to select English. That might cut down your search just a tiny bit. And 3, review brief information that you see on your sort of hit list. Find an article that seems to be good for your purposes. Once you click on that article, you should be able to click on citation. It'll be like a little quotation mark and then the word citation. You click on that, and that will give you the citation. It should open the citation in APA style. Make sure it's APA style, and then you can just copy and paste that into the document, the annotated bibliography document that you're going to be creating for this week. So that shortens that up for you. And then the article that you've chosen, you're going to preview it and check it for content. And then you're going to write like a 2 or 3 sentence summary of what the authors are offering you in that article. Very, very short and to the point. Just general, what's the purpose of the article, or what's the conclusion of the article. Okay? And the next thing you're going to do is search for a white paper. You're going to type your topic in Google. And the way that I did it was to find useful and reliable articles to help me locate a company or organization that offers the item. Now, if you're doing research in your field, it's possible that you can skip this step, but I found it useful to do this first. Find some kind of third-party, independent research on items that you could use. And then from that article, I located a company and an item that I could, again, do a second Google search, typing in the name of the company and the name of the item. And the third term, of course, is you need white paper. You can even put it in quotation marks, and that will help you. Because what you need to find is a white paper. So you want to make sure that that's what you do find. So type it in your search bar. Search the company organization page for the white paper on the item that you're looking at and preview the white paper, summarize the white paper. Again, 2 or 3 sentences. What is the white paper concluding? And you need to make sure, this will be a little bit harder, but you need to locate publication information for your annotated bibliography. So search that paper very carefully. See if you can find an author's name. Hopefully you can. If you do, the author's name goes first. If you don't, then what is going to go first is, if it's an organization that's made it, then the organization name goes first. And then the second thing is going to be the date of publication. Search very hard all through that white paper for a date of publication. If it's there, use it. If you're unable to find one any place, then you have to use ND, as I did, actually, right here. I used ND. Okay. And last, we're going to look at what is an annotated bibliography in APA style. We're going to look at a couple of pages that give us information on that, and then we're going to look at a sample annotated bibliography. So let's lose this page, and here's what I did. Number 1, I went to Fresno State Henry Madden Library OneSearch page. I typed in cloud storage, and I got 420,785 results. So that's not very useful. We can't skim and scan through all of that, so we need to do some refining. We refine our results, and we put in, of course, what you need to put in. Make sure that it's a full text online, and make sure that it is a peer-reviewed article. Make sure that it is an article. Make sure that the years are 2013 to 2018, and English is probably going to be helpful for you. And that got me down to, it's still 12,168 results. I'm honestly not going to scroll through all of that, so if what you find once you've gotten down here is not suitable for you, then you can do some further sorting in here by topic. For example, that's a great way to do it. You can narrow down what topic you want to use here, and that will greatly reduce the number of hits that you have to scan through, and that's really the best way to use this. Okay, and so, but what I did, because I'm just doing a demo for you, so what's important to me is to find these words: workload models and performance evaluation of cloud storage services. That seems to me like a tremendous article for our purposes, because you're going to be writing a feasibility study. So you need to know about performance evaluation of your item, whatever it is. So I picked this one, and then I was able to open up the item here, and I was able to ask for the citation here, and it comes up in APA style, so that's very helpful. And here the author's name is the date of publication, and this is the whole entry, so I can just copy and paste this directly into my paper, which is very useful. And then I open the paper, and here it is, and you know, it's long and it's got the parts that you expect for science papers and social science papers. It's got an abstract, very, very useful for our purposes this week. It's got an introduction, and then, you know, the analysis, the study is here. Lots and lots of information, and hopefully you are finding articles that are in your field so you can read and understand these things very easily. But as you get to the bottom, you can see where the discussion is, and you can see that the discussion right before the conclusion is going to give you some very good information about what they concluded, what the research results are, okay? So you look toward the end, and that's where the good stuff is. Okay, so I found that, and then I decided to look for a third-party article from this magazine called Digital Trends. It talks about the best cloud storage services, and it's published this year. This is a July 30th, 2018 article, so I think that makes it quite reliable, quite current for our information. And it talks about a bunch of different ones that we're familiar with, like Google and so forth, but it says that the best here, the first thing that's offered is Carbonite Unlimited Storage. And so I pick that one, and I get a little bit of information about it here, and then I go into Google, and I find the Carbonite page, and I see that indeed Carbonite is very good about offering white papers on on all their products really. You can see that they have a lot of offerings for small business computer use and so forth. And so I find the white paper, and again, it's written by Carbonite, so I could treat that as the author. Carbonite Cloud Migration Technical Guide, that is the title of the article, so that needs to be here. And I hunt and I see no author's name, so I can't include the name of a person. And I hunt and I don't see a date, so I can't include that either. But again, what I'm able to include here is the title. I say that it's a white paper. That goes in the square brackets, ND, in parentheses, the date that I retrieved it, and the source from Carbonite, and then the URL goes here. Okay, so I was able to do those things. Now, APA style, whatever you need to know about it, you can go to the Purtue Online Writing Lab and inform yourself on APA style if you're not already very familiar with it from your courses at the college, the university. But it will give you plenty of information about what it is and what it looks like and how to do it. It gives you a definition of annotated bibliographies, and it tells you that you can do annotated bibliographies in any style, Turabian, Chicago, APA, MLA, they all use annotated bibliographies, but of course they cite them a little bit differently. And so you can read about that here. And then I found this lovely little page, Ashford University. Also gives some information on what is an annotated bibliography and how to create it. Here's a sample entry, note the author's name, and so forth. And then there is, this is very long. This is a very, very long entry for an annotated bibliography. And sometimes a professor or a boss might ask you for an annotated bibliography that requires all of this, but I'm really just asking you to get short entries. Okay, so the Ashford University Writing Center very helpfully shows you annotated bibliography is centered. The items are going to be alphabetized by the author's last name if there is an author. If there weren't, you would alphabetize them by E for effects, T for too much fun. You'd alphabetize them by title, but you have authors' names, so you always use authors' names when they're available. Authors' names go first, and then this is your citation entry as normal. This one happens to have a DOI instead of a URL, and that's great. That's what you can prefer. And then annotations are indented 1/2 inch. So you see the sources are cited according to APA guidelines. The author's last name, if you have an author, goes here, goes first, and is flush left 1 inch away from the margin. And of course, if there is no author's last name, then the thing that's going to come first is going to be the title. The second item, always in APA style, no matter what goes first, the date goes second. Okay? And okay, annotations, again, indented 1 inch, so they are flush with the second and subsequent lines, right? You have a hanging indent here for the citation. And this one tells you that the first paragraph of an annotation summarizes the text. I'm only asking for you a couple of sentences, 2-3 sentences, and summarize the text, and that is what you do. This says you're to leave a space between your citation and annotation, which looks nice, doesn't it? And it says also leave a space between different paragraphs in your annotation, but you're not going to have different paragraphs, so no need to worry about that. Anyway, be sure to find the required amount of scholarly sources for your annotated bibliography. And yes, I've only asked you to do 2 this week for the couple of days that we have. So that covers that, and good luck this week, and try to have fun. Try to find something that's interesting for you to do your research on, because you'll be working on it for a couple more weeks. Good luck.